Psycho wasn't, to me, really about New York so much. I mean, it's only recently that I've been able to talk about American Psycho on a more personal level, that it was an extremely personal book. It was a book about myself. It was a book about my loneliness and my alienation and my disappointment at the world of adults was really what was at the heart of American Psycho. And then as I began to build a novel, it became about many other things. But at root, it was a very, very personal idea for a novel.
The question I had was actually, when you said that that was about your life in American Psycho, were you in the finance industry? Did you, because it was extremely accurate, and I wasn't sure exactly how much experience you had in that, and if you thought maybe like you sitting at that desk having nothing to do in the 80s when, in that type of industry where there wasn't much to do, were you just kind of contemplating, murder and all sorts of other things?
I was.
And how did you stare at those business cards before you wrote the first two chapters?
That's right, that's right. I was hanging out. I mean, the initial idea for the book was to write a book about a young guy who works on Wall Street, and I did hang out with a lot of young guys who worked on Wall Street when I moved to the city, and it became, I don't know, I thought I was going to learn a lot more about the business side of things, but they were all obsessed with status, more or less, and they were obsessed with how hot their girlfriends were, what suits they wore, and how expensive everything was, and what clubs they could get into, what was the most expensive restaurant, and it was interesting. I mean, it did like change my mind about where this novel should go. But it was also numbingly boring. It was a really boring place to be in that month or so. And I remember I was sitting at one of these dinners. It was the last dinner that I was at, and I was with all these guys, and they were like going on and on about their manicures and tanning salons and this endless recitation of stuff. And then out of the blue, I said, okay, one of them's a serial killer. One of them's a serial killer, and I don't know why. It just hit me. So one of these guys is a serial killer, and then I moved that idea.
Well, he probably was.
And I moved that idea into my own personal story and kind of melded everything together.